Hello guys, my name is Beroz. I'm a finance executive by profession and welcome to my channel where I share with you how you can achieve career and financial success. Now, in case you have an interview coming up, then this video is very important for you because in this video I will be covering 5 tough questions that you can expect to be asked in an interview. And not just that I will be sharing with you those tough 5 questions, but I will also be sharing with you some sample example answers that you can make use of in order to address and ace these 5 tough questions. Now, before I go and talk about these 5 tough questions, I have to ask for you. 1, press the like button, and 2nd, subscribe button so you get notified as soon as I put a new content on this channel. Now, both like and subscribe that you will do on this channel will go a long way in 1, motivating me, and 2nd, helping me in order to improve the quality and the quantity of the content that I post on this channel. Again, if you're interested in career and financial success, this channel is right for you. Now let's get rolling into those 5 questions. Question number 1 is, what is that you did not like in your last job? This is a tough question. What they want you to do is, or the interviewer expecting you to be honest and also tell maybe the reason why you are leaving your current job or why you left your last job. However, you have to be very careful the way you answer this question, because if you start bad mouthing your previous employer or your manager or the team, then that leaves a bad impression. Because what you're doing is you're telling this individual that you are someone who had some issues with their last job and they only know one side of the story, that is your story. And they might be thinking that there is another, or there could be another part of the story as well, which I, as an interviewee, not telling this interviewer. And they may start to doubt my answer or may become skeptic with regards to hiring me, knowing that I had a difficult time in my last job with my last manager and I didn't go along. So refrain from talking anything bad about your employer or your manager. But then the question is, how do you go about answering this question? Because if you don't talk about anything bad, then what should you be talking about? Here, one quick and easy solution is to talk about the process or the tools. Don't talk bad about the business. Don't talk bad about the people. But yes, you can talk bad about the processes and the tools. And talk bad about them in a way that this was something which was a core attention for the organization. You also took note of it and you did something about it. So it's not just you had an issue with the systems and tools and you did nothing about it except for just bitching about it. No. Rather, you're someone who realized that there is an issue and also created a fix for it. So for instance, you can simply answer by saying, the thing that I did not like about my last job was that the amount of time it took for me to retrieve information and data from the tool, any tool there was, and process it, analyze the data, and then eventually come up with insights. This was cumbersome. It would take a lot of time. So what I did was I created a seamless process where I linked the Excel files with the tool itself, so the data can be transferred from the tool at the end of every month in order for it to get analyzed and put in a format where it's very easy to read and easy to figure out what are the issues. So what you're essentially trying to do here is that there was an issue and you found a short-term fix, which is whatever you could do in your capacity in order to fix that issue. However, that issue did require bigger attention by the organization in order to find a tool which was a seamless tool. Rather, maybe you didn't even have to use Excel altogether. A data machine which also has an interface where you can simply read the data. So you don't have to pull data out of that machine into Excel in order to read it. Rather, you can read it directly into the machine. So that is the kind of intervention you wanted the organization to do. However, since they did not have the resources to do it or they did not prioritize it, you found a short-term solution in order for you to reduce the amount of time it takes for you to pull out the data and analyze the data. So essentially, at the end of the day, with this answer, you're also selling yourself to the interviewer, that you're someone who, if finds something broken down in the process, would try to fix it as much as possible, would take ownership in order to get the ball rolling. Now, the next difficult question is, where do you see yourself in next 5 years or 3 years? The reason it is a difficult question is because instinctively you want to say, I want to get promoted, or I want your role, which is the manager's role. So something on those lines, but don't give that answer. What you need to do is you need to be very strategic. You need to tell them the process of where you want to go and not just where you want to land. So essentially what you can do is that I would like to break my 5-year goal into smaller chunks. The first 1 year for me is important that I learn everything about the business and develop mastery on the business drivers. Second year, I developed the equity that I'm someone who understands the business completely and is also contributing back in the business. And then third or fourth year is where I would like to see how I can expand more by taking more challenges, by taking more projects, and grow myself in order to learn more things that are available in the organization. Could be different roles, could be different projects. Essentially, what you want to do here is not talk about that you want a promotion. Rather, you want to tell them that you are someone who wants to ace their current role first, and only once they've aced their current role, they want to expand their role. Now, obviously, expansion for the most part means that you would be getting promoted because you're taking more responsibility, you're taking more projects, you're taking more challenges. Once you do that, you kind of get promoted. So net, you're telling them you want to ace the current role, get better at it, develop that equity that you're the person who is the go-to person for this role, and then start broadening or expanding your assignment, your role, your challenges, which essentially means that you want to get promoted and you want to get more stripes, but you don't have to say it directly. You just say you want more challenges and more challenging assignments. Now, on this very subject, I've made a separate video where I explain how you can go about answering this question in very detail. You can check it out here. I will leave the link in the description of this video as well. Now, the third tough question is, why should I hire you? The reason it is a tough question is you have to kind of sell yourself, but also be a bit humble and sell yourself exactly on the lines which the interviewer is looking for. So here it is very important that you've read the job description so you know exactly what the interviewer is looking for. Apart from job description, also make sure that when you have your hiring interview or the first interview or the recruiter interview, that you do ask the recruiter what is that you are looking for in the candidate. So they will kind of highlight for you key elements from the job description that you might have missed, or maybe there were 10 things you shortlisted from the job description and they could summarize it into 2, 3 or 4 things that they are actually looking for in a candidate. This is exactly the brief that the hiring manager has given to the recruiter, and when the recruiter called you for the first interview, you kind of asked them this question and they gave you exactly the answer that the interviewer asked them to check in a particular candidate. So now you already know. You've read the job description, you've spoken to the recruiter. Now the interviewer or the hiring manager is asking you this question, why should I hire you? So what you need to do is exactly tell them that you possess all those skills that they are looking for. And also what you need to do is give some examples for each of the skills from the past. So for instance, one sample answer could be that the reason you should hire me is because of my strategy background, if assume strategy is something that they're looking for. So you can hire me because of or you should hire me because of my strategy background, whereby in my past assignment, I used to work on developing, executing, and then tracking strategy. I worked on 5-year strategic plan for the organization, which I not only created, but also executed and then tracked it. And it was a complete success. Because of that plan, we were able to grow double digit in our top line. So you kind of tell them what you have that they're looking for, but not just say it, but also give an example to build some credibility and reassure them that you really mean it or you really possess those skills, as against just saying, yes, I know strategy, I know communication, I know this, I know that. So it's important you just don't list the skills, but you call the skills out and also give an example from the past so they can kind of relate as to, yes, what you're telling them is right and you're not making it up and you're not just repeating what was written in the job description. Another tough and similar question is, what makes you unique? Now here what the interviewer is doing is trying to evaluate why you are the best candidate amongst all others that he or she has interviewed. Here, again, similar to the previous one, make sure you've read the job description and you've spoken to the recruiter and exactly know what they're looking for. And then this is what you need to tell them, which is that you exactly possess the skills that they are looking for. But not only that, you're also someone, now here you kind of top it up, you're also someone who is a fast learner. So even if there is some skill, some part which you don't know of, you are the one who can, once they come on the job, can learn it very fast. You also need to be a bit humble here and say that you are the individual who will not have all the answers, but you are someone who will make sure that they can find that answer, because you're a fast learner and you know how to get answers. So even if you don't know the answers, you are someone who who can get those answers. So essentially, apart from the skills that the interviewer is looking for, you also need to sell them on your attitude and your passion. Now, the last and the most commonly asked tough question is, what is your weakness? I made a separate video on this where I explain this question in detail as to how you can go about answering this question. But essentially, what you need to do is make sure, number one, stay away from generic or very normal or standard skills that any organization requires. Let's say collaboration. Any organization that will hire you will require you to be collaborative, because even if you're the smartest guy on the planet, if you can't collaborate and work with others, there is no space for you in that organization, because you won't be able to gel in and work with the other team members. Similarly, communication. It is very important for you to be a good communicator. It doesn't need to be a perfect or the best communicator, but a good communicator. So never say that communication is your weakness, collaboration is your weakness, or you're lazy. These are common things that an organization won't put on the job description, but they expect you to have these qualities, or not to have these bad qualities like laziness. So make sure that you don't call anything which is very standard for you to have if you want to join a particular organization. Now, second piece that you should not be saying is anything which is already called out on the job description. Let's say attention to detail. If they are asking that or looking for that, whether you have attention to detail or not, don't say attention to detail is your weakness. Even if it is, then don't say it, because the moment you say it, your interview is done. This job you will not get at all, because they're looking for someone who has attention to detail, and you can't say I don't have attention to detail. So here, make sure first to avoid what not to say, and then whatever you're left with, try to make it more personality driven. Like you are someone who gets hung up on a particular project and it's difficult for you to leave a project midway. And then once you've told them what your weakness is, also tell them how do you counter it. That, for instance, it is very difficult for you to leave a project midway, and there could be instances where they have to move you around from one project to the other, even if the project is not completed. So what you do is, during your time on the project, you make sure, one, you break the project into smaller tasks and make sure that you complete each task one by one. So if at any point they are moving you away from the project, at least you know that you have completed the task which was on hand. You didn't complete the full project, but you take each of those tasks as mini projects, and you've completed one mini project, and that is enough for you. Similarly, what I call out is that I'm an introvert. So for me, it is challenging to be called in a room and do a brainstorming session. I rather you give me a problem, I go on my desk, study the problem, think about it, and then come in the brainstorming session. How do I counter this at workplace is that I inform my manager that if you can give me some time, it's better that I read the issue or read about the issue, understand the issue, and then come to you in the brainstorming session, as against being called in an urgent way or in an ad hoc way or not pre-planned way. So you have to give a reason or a solution as to how you go about countering that weakness, because you do have a weakness, you are aware of it, which is very important, and you have a solution for it. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully after watching this video, you would be better prepared to tackle any interview on this planet. In case you found value from this video, I have another video on my channel where I talk about how you can go about introducing yourself. You can check it out here. Other than that, there is another video where I talk about reverse interview questions. What are the questions you should be asking? You can check it out here. Thank you.